What's good, podcast world? What's good, YouTube?
Sixers are in trouble. I need a top five.
Man, let's get into best of the week, man. What's good, podcast world? What's good, YouTube? Back for another episode of Charge It to the Game Sports Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Rome. I'm here with the fellas, Big Z and Jay. And joined by Josh is a Bills team reporter. Gonna have him on, man. We're gonna talk that action. Bills Mafia, man. Let's get up for this win. Show my man some support as you're
they'll show up. I promise. You put this out there and you put a hashtag Bills Mafia on it. They will watch it. They will read it. They will listen to it. They can't get enough of their squad.
That's what's up, man. So Bills Mafia, as you showing up, man. Leave us comments in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And now we're actually sponsored and powered by BetUS. BetUS, man. When you sign up, use promo code to the game for the exclusive offer, man. So 125% of your sports betting. Free bets. Why not? But Josh, man, let's get it, man. So welcome to the show, man. I obviously know kind of the backstory, man. Tell us the backstory on you and Big Z, man. I really want to hear
Kent State guys.
Yeah.
That's all you got to know.
There we go.
We're golden flashes. Golden flashes. We're thick as thieves. I mean, that's the way we roll. I mean, I got a few texts from mutual friends saying, "Hey, I got this podcast. My boy's on. You gotta make sure you hop on there." I said, "Oh, how you know him?" He goes, "He's a Kent State guy." I said, "Sign me up. Let me know when. Let me know what time."
Yes,
Let me know
sir.
what time. That was the end of the game right there.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Like I said, welcome, man. Warm welcome. Welcome on anytime. But man, without further ado, let's hop into this action, man. So obviously you're a Bills team reporter. Going into
Our sports director for the CBS station.
I do both. Yeah. The CBS station here in Buffalo.
Okay, well, dope, man. Well, actually, before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself there, man. As far as just in general, like a little bit about your job and.
I would get too boring here on you. But I went to Kent State, and after that, I got my first TV job. Was in Hagerstown, Maryland, a little small TV station. Spent 4 years there. Then went to Harrisburg, PA. Spent a decade there covering LaShawn McCoy when he was in high school. To Aaron Berry, to you name it, Noah Spence. I mean, the guys are Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
You may know him now.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty nice. Those guys are all from that area. And then 7 years ago, I became the sports director here in Buffalo. Been covering the Bills ever since.
That's what's up, man. Hey,
all right.
That's what's up, man.
So those first 2 years, though, let me tell you, those were Rex Ryan's years.
It always is, man. I mean,
and there's not an eraser big enough on a pencil to erase that time. That wasn't great. But then Sean McDermott showed up. Brandon Beane showed up.
Yeah.
Then a year later, Josh Allen showed up, and that changed the trajectory of this franchise.
Yep, it did, man. We're definitely going to talk about that playoff game. But before we do that, man, I want to ask you, so heading into this draft, man, obviously Bills, they're a very solid team. They had a few holes, and they went with the cornerback in the first round, man. So what did you think of that?
Yeah, I love the pick. There were a couple that, you could have argued maybe there over him. I know the Kyler Gordon kid was pretty good, highly thought of. Yeah. But he's really long. He's athletic. He can play on the boundary. Loves playing man-to-man. The Bills don't play a ton of man-to-man, but he flat out says there's no feeling like being out on an island against another wide receiver. He's legit. The kid's confident. His dad played in the league. His dad played 6 times against the Bills in Buffalo. Said it was the hardest place he ever played.
Who's his dad?
As an opponent. But yeah, Kaiir Elam, he's got the right mindset. He's going to be lined up on the opposite side of Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White is an absolute A1 cornerback.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously tore his knee up on Thanksgiving down in New Orleans, which was a bummer because that was a homecoming game for him. He's an LSU kid.
LSU, yeah.
Yeah. So this is good because if Trey's not ready, he's probably going to be that guy and Dane Jackson will slot it next to him. But then if Trey's ready, the rookie's gonna get his chance to start. Now, the Bills don't just give rookies jobs.
Yeah.
Right? They don't. And so he's going to compete with Dane Jackson for that starting job. But let's face it, you draft the kid 23rd overall, trade up from 25 to 23. Dane Jackson would have to beat him out of the job. I don't mean kind of close. He would have to absolutely outshine him because this kid's a special talent. They got a good one in that first round.
Yeah, I think so too, man. I think that Bills defense is amazing. I mean, they're very slept on. One of the top
adding Von Miller in free agency.
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah, another huge free agency pickup, man. So as far as you guys obviously picked up a few other key pieces in the draft, and I kind of know we were talking a little bit before the show. Dalvin Cook's little brother, man.
James Cook, out of Georgia.
Man. Yeah,
out of Georgia. It's interesting. We had a chance to talk to Brandon Beane, the Bills general manager, after the draft. And one of the things that I actually asked him about was the tendency, this isn't the first year we've seen this, but SEC guy. Shouldn't be crazy to any of us to hear that anymore, right? But he said, look, it's the closest thing we have to the NFL. Like when they have to project guys like Josh Allen, it's harder, right? Because he's playing at Wyoming. That's tough to see how that kind of translates. But when you see Kaiir Elam playing at Florida and James Cook playing at Georgia, you know that the best players are playing on that stage every single Saturday. James Cook's he's a nice complementary piece to that offense. Keep in mind, what you got to kind of remember is, the Bills, because of where they're finished the last couple of years, they're drafting at the end of these rounds.
Yeah.
So they had the 25th overall pick in the second round. So, I mean, they're sitting there. They get James Cook. He is really going to, I think, catch the ball in the backfield more than run the ball. I think he is going to be a guy who lines up in the slot a little bit. I think he is a weapon in the passing game, maybe even more so than the running game. Devin Singletary had a really good second half of the season when they kind of decided that, look, we needed to develop a running game. Josh throwing the ball 55 times. It looks good and it's fun. But at some point, they'd need to run the ball to win. And Singletary did a nice job. And by coincidence, Cook and Singletary, they worked out together this offseason.
Oh.
So that's interesting. Okay. Right? I mean, now you got your boy trying to take snap from you. The workout probably changed a little bit. I'm sure Cook was probably like the next day, hey, we're going to work out today? I'm sure Singletary was like, yeah, man, I got something else I got to go do. Right? Now, I'm sure they're cool, but, you got to think that Singletary now hiding a few of those extra workout things that he does.
Right. Can't show the kid everything.
Don't show him the whole hand.
Yeah, man. I want that big contract too. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, man. But now I think, that's going to be an amazing, if they, I don't know if the Bills have that type of scheme. I obviously know they got Josh Allen, and obviously, like you said, they ran the ball later during the season. Do you think they're going to be willing? Obviously, they got Josh Allen, this big shiny toy. Are they going to be able to run the ball more? That was just my only concern. Just obviously, they can put up points, but just kind of slowing the game down. Not giving.
I don't think they're ever going to be a team that runs the ball 35 times in a game.
Right.
I just think that that's not the way to win in the NFL anymore. You got to be able to score points. I mean, you look across the NFL. That's the way it is. I mean, you look at the best teams, they all have a quarterback. And a quarterback that's top 5, top 6, top 7 type of guy.
Especially AFC this year.
Especially the AFC is loaded.
Yeah, for sure.
Loaded with 100%. And, I mean, you look at the other kind of sneaky addition they made this offseason. They picked up OJ Howard, too. I think a lot of people kind of forget that. So now they got a 2 tight end set with Dawson Knox and OJ Howard. So they can run a little bit of that personnel. Of course, they got Gabe Davis, who just blew up in front of everybody in that Chiefs game. And one and only Steph Diggs. I mean, that guy's just an absolute monster. So they've got the pieces, and they added a wide receiver. They got Jamison Crowder in free agency.
Oh, man.
So he's going to work underneath a little bit because Cole Beasley's no longer there. Emmanuel Sanders is gone. So that, there are a couple guys that left, but they do not lack weapons. Josh Allen's going to walk out there week 1 and look around and go, sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about. You look around that huddle and go, I got to make sure I spread the ball out because I don't need these guys coming to me after the game wondering where their touches were.
For sure. Is their second receiver, is it Davis?
Yeah, Gabe Davis. And he,
I love him, man. He's nice.
And a lot of people were wondering and kind of debating here, should the Bills take a receiver in the first round? Is that the way they should go? To give so you'd have Diggs and then somebody else and then Davis. This team is very confident in Gabriel Davis, and I know he blew up on the scene in the Chiefs game, but his rookie year was really good. I think if I remember, he had 8 touchdowns his rookie year. He followed it up with another really good second year. He's ready to blow up, and I mean it helps that if he is, it's like any really good quarterback. If you're Aaron Rodgers has done this his whole career, Tom Brady, if you're a really good quarterback, you can take okay playmakers and make them absolute stars.
Yeah.
You can make them elite. Now look, Devontae Adams, that's way different. I could have thrown the ball to him and he had 1,500 yards.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, there are guys that are just kind of okay. That if they have Aaron Rodgers throwing them the ball, you're gonna have 1,000 yards. Same with Josh Allen. Same with Pat Mahomes. There's just Deshaun Watson. There are guys that are Russell Wilson. There are 6-7 guys that it doesn't matter who they're out there with. They're gonna catch passes.
So Josh, let me ask you this. So I know you all were really on the borderline of being that team, right? Going all the way, and I felt like there was a lot of people that felt you all could make it.
13
seconds. This year.
13 seconds.
13 seconds, exactly.
I'm telling you, that still stings. You bring that up downtown Buffalo, you better have a mouth guard in and a 13 seconds, man.
Yeah. So being 13 seconds away with the offseason you all had, do you think this is enough? Like, is this like
I do
the thing? Okay,
I do. As long as it's like any team, you got to be healthy at the end of the day. I mean, Josh Allen's got to play, the majority of the snaps during the season, if not all of them. But they've been there, they've done it. They know what it takes to get there. They've got a good mix of veterans. They've got a good mix of young players. The coaching staff has all been there, done that. Now, with the one exception, to me, the biggest question mark about the Bills going into the season isn't on the roster at all. It's in the coaching staff. Brian Dable leaves to become the head coach of the Giants, right?
Yep.
So you lose your offensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
Well, consistency is so important.
Yeah.
And the thing is like Josh Allen's only had one offensive coordinator. That's been his guy.
Yeah.
Dave's has been his guy. That's been his dude. Well, Ken Dorsey now takes the step up, and Ken Dorsey's been there a couple of years. He's learned under Dable, so Josh Allen, let's put it this way. Everybody around here knew that Ken Dorsey was going to be the offensive coordinator when Dable took that job, and Josh Allen was asked if he had any input on who it was going to be and if he had anybody. And he goes, oh, yeah, there's someone in-house here. And I'm going to they kind of know that's that. Well, when number 17 says, I got a guy, then you're wise to say that's probably going to be our guy. And to the Bills' credit, they didn't try to do anything crazy. They just bumped Dorsey up. And I tell you, so that's the big question mark. I mean, Ken Dorsey's never called plays.
And this is the same Ken Dorsey out of Miami, former Miami quarterback.
Yeah, and he's never called plays.
Yeah.
So that's different. Now, the upside is the last 2 years, Josh has been an MVP candidate. He's got a few years under his belt now. He has seen it all. So while Ken Dorsey's still going to call the shots at the end, Josh Allen's going to have plenty of say. He's going to be able to, if he gets up to the line of scrimmage and doesn't like something and calls it off and it doesn't work, Ken Dorsey's not going to second guess him. Ken Dorsey, because one of the reasons they have that relationship, like you mentioned, he was a quarterback at the U. He won national titles. He knows what it's like. Like he played in the NFL. So, that goes a long way. That respect goes a long way when, when Josh Allen knows that Ken Dorsey's been there, done that at a high level. But then the other hiring that they made to take Dorsey's spot is Joe Brady. Joe Brady was the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, you name the Sean McVay, right? Considered the smartest offensive mind in football. He couldn't have scored points with that Panthers offense.
Well, who a quarterback? Well, who a quarterback, Josh?
You know what I mean? So Joe Brady gets fired because Christian McCaffrey is never healthy, right? So Joe Brady gets the axe. He's the one that falls on the sword, gets fired. I think that is a hell of a hire by the Bills because I think he's going to get a chance to rejuvenate his career and rejuvenate it with a quarterback. It's a little easier to rejuvenate your career when you got 17 helping you out. So
back to his Joe Burrow.
Yeah, exactly. He was at LSU with Joe Burrow. So I mean, this is
and then Drew Brees with the Saints. Yeah, he's always had a good quarterback.
But the first time this offense struggles and it looks like there's something wrong with the play calling or some inconsistency there, the first thing that's going to be brought up is Brian Dable. Brian Dable was that guy. He was calling the shots, and now he's with the Giants. So, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But at the end of the day, I covered all the Penn State teams with Joe Paterno when I was there for a decade, then James Franklin, Bill O'Brien in between. But Joe Paterno was famous for saying, at the end of the day, it's not about X's and O's. It's about Jimmys and Joes.
Hey, I can just imagine him saying that. His voice.
That's what he would say, and he's right. I mean, look, when you have Josh Allen, you kind of get close to the right play call, he's probably going to make it work.
Yeah. Man, he's an absolute beast. Okay. Man. I mean, I don't know. Are you a Madden guy? Play Madden?
I'm not. I used to be. I'm a 2 kids under 2 years old guy.
Okay.
I got no time.
I might be speaking a foreign language to you right now, but they have my man's throw power in the game at like 99, like 98.
Yeah.
Something
No,
incredible.
I know that nobody gets 100, right? Isn't that kind of the thing?
Yeah, kind of. Unless like as far as like overalls, like they got like the 99 club with like stuff like Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald.
Because guys always argue. Like it comes up in the locker room all the time. When those grades come out, every player is like, oh, Josh Allen was a 97. His arm strength was 3 below, it was third best. And everybody's like, Josh Allen's like, I'll go out and throw this ball out of the stadium. I got to on this on this. But it's funny hearing them talk about it because I know enough of what they're talking about to go, I know what y'all are talking about. Yeah, I haven't played Madden since I was at Kent State. One of the reasons I went there for an extra year and a half.
Hey, I feel you, man. I feel you, brother. But yeah, like I said, I mean, every time it's just like just a little off topic. When I hate playing the fucking Bills, every time I line up on defense, it's like, how far is he gonna throw it today? You know what I mean? He just throws lasers all across the field, man. But I gotta ask you, man. You kind of talked about it a little bit before you came on. You guys add Von Miller. Why? What did Von Miller see? He saw something in you guys, man. And I think, like I said, in my opinion, the Bills are slept on. Everybody's looking at the Bengals. They went to the Super Bowl. They're gonna be back. The Browns get Deshaun Watson.
AFC West with everybody in the West.
Yeah, AFC West, all of those teams and everything like that. But they're kind of sleeping on you guys. Tell us about the Von Miller pickup and what that means.
That was interesting. This is the first time I ever had a chance to really interview him.
Yeah.
Did a press conference, his introductory press conference. They bring him out. Everybody gets a chance to talk to him. He is so impressive. He is just, man, he was sitting there. I could have sat and listened to him for 3 straight hours and been like entertained. He was so good. But one of the things that I'll never forget him saying was the year that he was drafted, he thought he was going to the Bills. And if I remember correctly, I think that was the Marcel Darius draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he thought for sure he was going to the Bills. He thought it was done. He thought it was a done deal. He had Bills gear. He owned Bills gear. He owned it. He was like, I'd already gone out and bought Bills gear. Like I thought for sure. He said, it kind of felt full circle that I'm going to come here now to what he says, hopefully end his career, as a Buffalo Bill. And he said he looks around and he called Josh Allen, I believe it was something monster, some freak monster or something like that. He's like, man, I watched that guy. And he's like, why wouldn't I want to go play there? I mean, and that's kind of it's weird. You know, I've been here 7 years and I've become friends with people who've grown up here, never left, have always lived here, Bills fans through and through. And there's always this sense of nobody really respects us. Nobody really wants to come here unless you're from here. You don't get it. You don't know how good of a place this is. Well, it's getting to the point where they can't say that anymore, at least on the NFL side of things, because free agents, they want to play with Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a
He is a
receiver.
star.
Yep.
He is a star. Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott and the rest of the coaching staff, they build a culture that guys like playing in. These guys all talk to each other, right? These NFL players, they're all friends. They're all boys. They all hang out in the offseason together. It's like, it's no different than the Banana Boat Club, the LeBron and D-Wade and them all. It's the same thing. These guys all hang out together and stuff. They go out. They talk. They know if a culture's good. And it's as good as there is in the NFL in Buffalo. So, that's a selling point. Josh Allen's a selling point. Fans jumping through tables is a selling point. These NFL players, they love it. They absolutely love it.
What was the thing? Ryan Fitzpatrick was at the
He was at the playoff game with no shirt on. This is a guy who is still quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
He had no shirt
Washington.
on.
The bum-ass Washington.
It's unbelievable, though. I'm like, this guy's still in the league getting a paycheck next week from another team. He's got no shirt. But he's one of those guys that just this Buffalo is one of those places that when people embrace them, they can't get enough of them. And Josh Allen has done that. He's one of the examples of it. Deion Dawkins is another example of guys who just have embraced Buffalo. They will be there. Ryan Fitzpatrick, they will be their guys, Buffalo's guys forever. I mean, it's crazy. And the opposite side of things, you look at Jack Eichel and the way that whole Sabres thing plays out, right?
Yeah.
He never embraced Buffalo.
Yeah.
And the first train they could get him into Vegas, they were like,
and then Vegas implodes this year.
Vegas implodes. so you know what I mean? Buffalo fans are like, you're either one of us or you're not. And it's so the Von Miller thing, it's become a trend. These guys want to come and play with Josh Allen on offense. And you mentioned this. Their defense is sneaky good. Not even sneaky good, just underrated. Just flat out, almost disrespectfully underrated. Every year they're in the top 3 in every category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every category. I got to ask you, on the defensive side of the ball, there's only a few minutes left. The defensive lineman, I forgot his name, from Houston. The young guy you guys drafted. How's he doing?
Oh, yeah, man.
I got to ask you. Yeah.
Ed Oliver.
Yeah.
Ed Oliver.
They just picked up his 5th-year option on his rookie deal.
Okay.
It wasn't a big surprise. He had his best year last season. He finally looks like he's getting it. It finally looks like he's getting it. And what they did this offseason, I think, is it's really going to push their boundaries of what the hell they're going to have to pay this guy, because at some point, pass rushing defensive tackles, they get paid. They don't get paid quarterback money, but they get paid next to it. I mean, he is going to make a lot of money because they went out this offseason. They got a couple of big defensive tackle free agents because this guy is a little smaller, but you put him right next to the big boy who eats up bodies.
Oh, yeah.
They got Tim Settle from Washington.
Tim Settle, Daquan Jones.
Oh, Tim Settle with the Bills?
Yeah.
What?
Settle, Daquan Jones.
Man.
They got some big boys up front next to him now. He's going to eat.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I can't wait to see it because, like I said, I've been watching them. I'm a Bucks fan, so I watch the Bills. I respect the Bills. I love their roster. I always loved Ed Oliver. I was just like, man, I want to know how he's doing. I see his numbers, but that's kind of like all I see. He's been having like a solid season. But yeah, now that you mention it, adding those big bodies, those space eaters, allowing him to get those one-on-ones.
And there's gonna be time he's lined up next to Von Miller on the outside of him.
Yeah.
And what you gonna do?
Good luck. Good luck. I mean, good. You better be bringing a running back over to Chip. You better have the tight end on that side.
Okay.
Because they're gonna eat some quarterbacks this season.
Similar what the Rams did when they added Von Miller.
100%.
They win.
The difference was a lot of people kind of thought maybe they would go after their version of Jalen Ramsey. You know what I mean? Especially with Trey just kind of being dinged up a little bit with his knee. But I like what they did in the draft. I really do. I think that they added some nice pieces. They're set up, now it becomes Brandon Beane gave this coaching staff all the ingredients. Now the pressure's on Sean McDermott. He's got to deliver. This coaching staff now has to deliver. 2 years, Josh Allen's been an MVP candidate. Yeah. 2 years, and they haven't made it to the Super Bowl yet. Yeah. And I think that this is the year. I really do. People have asked me, and I said, health is always a big factor. But I do. I think this is it.
Yep, and I think so too, man. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. I mean, I think the Bills are getting disrespected. They're looking at all these pieces, and Matt Ryan going to the Colts and Bengals, and all of these other teams. I'm telling you, I'm not surprised if the Bills are there and the Chiefs lost the key piece. So
yeah, and the important thing will be in the regular season, the positioning. For the postseason.
Playoffs. Yeah.
Don't go to Kansas City again.
Yeah.
Make them come to Buffalo. That's
For
key.
Sure.
That is so crucial because Buffalo is such a home field advantage, especially when it gets cold and it gets dark at noon. In the winter, man, it gets dark at noon here. They get on the weather guys like, oh, it's a balmy 6 degrees outside. I'm like, oh man, yeah, I see you. But it gets cold. It's one of those things where I've seen games where the Bills have played in, and especially, what was that? 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I think it was. The Bills had a home game, right? Mm-hmm. Dolphins had to win to get into the postseason. The Bills were playing for nothing. Matt Barkley played the entire game.
I remember this game.
Lit them off. He lit them up. He got to halftime, and you could tell the Dolphins players were like, it's too cold.
That's so
they wanted to sit in the locker room and eat their chunky chicken noodle soup and go home, get on their plane, and go back to South Beach. They didn't want any part of it, and the Bills took it to them, and the Dolphins missed the playoffs. But it's like that. It's that type of atmosphere, and the crazy fans here there's nothing like. I covered Penn State football, and that's the only equivalent, like a night game in Penn State with the whiteout and everything is crazy. Yeah. But they do this a Saturday at 1:00 or Sunday at 1:00 here. I'm like, you guys got to go to work tomorrow. We dump a few tables and then be my accountant the next day.
And that's what happens.
Oh, amen. And you know what? That's the accountant I trust. I want that guy.
The only one.
I want that guy. I want the guy that'll go through the table.
For sure, man. Hey, that's what's up, Josh. Man, I know we got to get you up out of here, man. And everything. Thanks for coming on, brother.
No doubt.
Is there any way you want to shout out before hopping off of here, man? We'll probably have you on again at some point, but
yeah, you have me on again. I'll jump on again. Let me know. Maybe sometime around the beginning of the regular season, we'll go back and we'll take a look at how smart I am.
Easy enough.
Perfect.
Man, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Man.
No doubt. Take care, guys.
Kent, stay proud.
No doubt. No flashes.
Yes, sir.
Just in general. What did you guys think? Actually, before we even hop into that, man, let's talk about the Bills a little bit more, man, and talk about Josh, man. I mean, that was
the story of their first round pick was amazing because they showed when he went to visit the Bills, he took basically a 8-page notebook of every game he played and every receiver he went against, their strengths, their flaws, every mistake he made on every game of the season. And they were showing the clip of that during their meeting at the Combine. And because of that, fast forward to draft day, when the GM called him, the first thing he said, make sure that you put that playbook on the plane. I'm coming. And so that was the first thing he told him. And they were like, we love you. We can't wait to see you. And that was the big thing that impressed him right off at the Combine, because he came in with 5 or 6 notebooks worth of notes of every receiver he played against the whole college.
That's what it
season
takes,
last year.
man. And that's what it takes. I think a lot of people don't really understand, the seriousness of NFL. This is a job, man. You don't just walk out there and fucking play football. So, obviously I joke around, I say this guy's trash and this. They're not. I'm talking about trash at NFL standards. I'm not talking about, me, Big Z, or Jay going out there and doing that thing. Now, if you're Baker Mayfield, you know what I mean? Browns fans, I got something for you too. But anyway, man, like I said, an incredible draft. Oh man, here we go. But as far as the number 1 overall pick, man, we kind of talked about it. Y'all guys hit the nail on the head with the Walker thing. That was the hype because for the longest period of time, it was Aiden Hutchinson was the consensus overall number 1 pick, and then a few days before the draft, Walker just started creeping up. Man, look at this athletic freak
out of nowhere,
He's huge. He runs
out of
4,
nowhere.
5. Yeah, he just. What do you guys think of that? You guys pitched it, so you said it was a reach.
Absolute reach. I just know how the Jaguars operate sometimes. And sometimes they operate backwards. They're not good. They're not getting him based off of what he's done. But there's a lot of accolades that he's missing as a first round pick in that. Yeah. But I see the potential, but I don't think I risk that right there when I have Trevor Lawrence behind there. Yeah, you're number 1. You have Trevor Lawrence behind there dying. So that's crazy to me.
Yeah, they did extend their tackle too, so
they did.
Yeah, so he's no longer going to be franchised again every year after year. You
got to pay the man at some point, But the Jags bring him in.
Yeah. How about the Lions getting Hutchinson?
He goes back home.
Yeah.
Well, where he went to college, pretty much. Detroit. I don't know, man. The coach.
Detroit's getting better.
Yeah.
They're getting
better.
You
just saying that because you like them goddamn Pistons, man.
Nah. That has nothing to do with Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions, go ahead and get the fuck up out of there. Sorry, Detroit. I'm a Piston fan. That's really it. They can get the fuck up out of there. But no, they've been compiling some talent, and I've been looking at it throughout the years. And I think usually this is kind of Big Z can chime in on this. I think they went at the end of the season. They went 3-3, 4-4, kind of balanced out. So if they lead that into next season.
Yeah.
They're not really doing too much damage to the league.
Don't remind me, stinking Mason Rudolph.
What's that got to do with Mason, though, man? What's got to do? What's wrong?
Yeah, Lions win 2 games. They were winless. They came to Pittsburgh. He threw 3 picks and they lost.
3 picks, jeez.
But that's where you guys went out and got your boys.
I'm about to say,
let's talk about it now, bro. Let's talk about it now, dog. So. All right, so use Big Z as a Steelers fan, man.
I'm waiting on them to cut Mason. Get him off my roster now. I'm like,
they ain't cutting that man.
Trade him, cut him. Because you saw they picked another quarterback in the 7th round. That was the sign of Mason is get him out. Trade him to Houston. I don't care if we trade him for a dozen donuts. I don't care. Just get rid of it.
A dozen donuts. So hold on. So Z, this broke the streak, right? Because I called this. This broke the streak. They had dinner with everyone else. You mentioned that.
No, but they know Pickett.
Yeah,
they share a facility with him. That's why Tomlin's press conference was hilarious. He said, "We traveled all over the world, around the way, looking for a quarterback, and we end up with the guy next door."
He's in our own stadium every Saturday,
and they watch every practice. They
got insight.
They know the coaches.
Exclusive.
They know what other teams don't, and they see him every day. Tomlin was basically like, I talked to him once a week for the last 3 years, and so if the Steelers didn't pick him, that was going to be the deal.
That would have been smoky because he's in their own building. He literally plays in the same stadium as the Steelers the day before. So
the whole thing, they never thought he'd be there. So that was and then the crazy part is the fall of Malik Willis all the way to the 3rd round.
So that's what I want to talk about because I know you said you kind of feel like the Malik Willis thing.
His over under was 10 in Vegas. Is he going to be picked before the 10th pick of the draft? And he was picked.
Hold up.
That's kidding. What?
Yeah. His over under was 10.
What the?
The easiest bet. You just bet
in the world.
the third round. He was picked in the third round.
Sorry, folks.
So he goes to the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
And Ryan Tannehill, we had the news today. He was up there, his big stupid looking ass at that fucking first one. I'm not a if he wants to learn behind me, I guess he can. But I mean, where's the quarterback competition? Man, shut your bum ass up, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But that tells you about him. I mean, really. But what I loved about from a Steelers perspective, Tomlin said it's an open competition. And he's like, Mitch.
Now, come on now.
Mitch and Kenny will go at it. And from day one, I'm like, yeah, sorry, Mitch. I know Mitch is going to be mad. He took that little $7 million contract.
I guarantee you. No, that's just coach's talk. Mitch's bum ass is going to be out there for the first four or 5 games. You think they're going to put a rookie out there week 1 in the NFL?
Hell nah.
I mean, he's a rookie 25-year-old. He's not like a normal rookie who started for 4 years.
Let's bet on that. I guarantee.
Because that was the basically the knock on him was he was in college too long.
He is old. You're right.
And
he
so
ain't Brandon Weeden.
Yeah.
Brandon Eden was like our age. Jay.
Yeah,
but
I still got drafted. Crazy.
But Kenny to Pittsburgh. I mean, he played on that field. They share the stadium, so he knows the stadium. He's super comfortable. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy that the Steelers offensive coordinator was the former offensive coordinator at Pitt who recruited him to go to Pitt. I mean, the connections are there, and so it's a natural fit. I know the city's going crazy having the local kids stay home, but what I thought was even more intriguing, they drafted 2 receivers to go with him, and so they drafted Pickens out of Georgia, who was, if he didn't get hurt, would have been a top 10 pick, and so to get him in the second round. That
they're gonna find
it's been speed. I mean, they
that's
replaced
what the NFL is.
Yeah, they replaced slow Juju. They replaced James Washington, who was not that fast, and they put him with 2-4-2 guys to replace him.
That's what it takes, man.
And then they signed a guy from the Ravens, Boykin, who to me was an average receiver, but he runs a 4.3.
He's fast. He knows the Ravens playbook too, so I mean, and the Ravens coming back healthy because you guys kind of dominated them last year. So Ravens
they had a draft. Ravens had a draft.
They had the second best draft after the Jets, in my opinion.
That's a man that knows his draft stuff. The Jets fucked it up, didn't they?
Yes, sir.
The Jets fucking. If you could have wrote down, I mean, just draft, gave them a draft grade. They're in like draft heaven. Like
they are,
bro. They hit on every fucking pick. Like it's crazy. You take Sauce Gardner, you know what I mean, and number 4, and then I gotta scroll down. I mean, then you come back right back at 10. You take the best receiver in the draft, in a lot of people's opinions, in Garrett Wilson. I mean, I like Garrett Wilson. I just like Chris Olave. That's just me. But he went to the bum ass Saints, so.
Me and you right here, with Chris Olave.
But look, did you see the trade? What ends up with all the trading up and down? They ended up in the end trading 6 picks for Chris Olave.
Yeah,
that's what it ends up being with all their up and down and trading up and down.
Jeez.
It ended up being 6 draft picks, and 3 of them first and second rounders to end up with Chris Olave.
You talking about the Saints?
Saints, because of all the movement, they traded two picks to Philly. Then they got 2 more picks. Then they traded 2 picks. Then they moved.
I hate the Saints. I mean,
they had to move all the way up to 12. And
they can just.
When all the dust settled, it was 6 picks.
You already know I feel about the Saints.
Hey, you about
with
to
Olave.
Yeah, I mean, go sit your gumbo and go eat down. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't even fuck with the Saints like that. But I do respect a lot of their guys. I'm just fucking with you. Bucks. I'm just a Bucks fan. That's just that, just that hate I got for them. But yeah, the Jets really, man, they just hit it on every pick. In my opinion. What did you guys think about what is the guy's name? Trevor Penny too. The Saints got Trevor Penny in the first round. I mean, Saints had a solid draft, man.
They did.
A lot of young guys with speed. I mean, Trevor Penny's an absolute beast of an offensive lineman. The Chargers offensive lineman is a beast.
It's just for the Ravens to get Linderbaum, the best center, to go along with Hamilton.
Crazy.
Yeah, the Ravens, man. I mean, they just right back.
And then they took Ojabo from Michigan, with the third pick. So they had inside info with Jim Harbaugh being the coach. His defensive coordinator left Michigan, is now the defensive coordinator of the Ravens. So he went from Jim to work for John and drafted David Ajabo in the second
The
round.
Ravens just, I mean, they always do this every year. Like every year. Like they got that safety. That safety was it Kyle Hamilton?
Kyle Hamilton is
Yep.
nice.
Man, look, when
At
I saw that,
14?
yo, I'm like, that's great value. And that's what they needed.
Who
Like
was
that's
it who traded him for him? Philly traded right up in front of him to take the guy from Georgia, who everybody thought the Ravens wanted. And Ravens said, all right, we'll just settle and take Hamilton. No problem.
yeah, he's a beast, man. He's a punishing hitter. He covers a lot of ground, all of that. And then they got their defensive lineman at some point, I think.
Yeah.
During the draft.
From Connecticut, yeah.
Big space eating dude, man.
Yeah.
Connecticut is a school that's not really known for football, but they did their research on this guy. I mean, I was looking at his tape. I mean, he's huge. He reminds me of what the Ravens want to do. The Haloti Nadas, the Brandon Williams, the Michael Pierce's, like they used to have. All those big bodied guys that free up their linebackers to run and hit people. And now you add in that to a secondary who's gonna have Marcus Peters back, and was it Marlon Humphrey's gonna be back, and a lot of those the Ravens was so fucked up last year. I mean, they should have been like a 4 or 5 win team.
Yeah.
Lamar had no receivers. And they traded away was it Marquise Brown?
Yeah.
And
then later we find out to replace Hopkins, who's suspended. That's why.
That was a foolish move.
Yeah, so they got heads up.
Hold up, let's talk about this now. So you think that's a foolish move, trade with Marquise Brown?
Well, I mean,
they had to.
No, it's your opinion. I just
No,
want to talk
yeah.
about it.
Hopkins is out for 6 weeks. So
I mean, in hindsight,
No,
yeah,
from the
right.
Ravens.
But I'm talking about from
the Ravens perspective.
Ravens,
yeah.
no, this is a good pick for Ravens. I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals. This is foolish.
Oh.
But no, Ravens did right, like through and through. So, yeah.
But
Who's the
from
receiver?
Arizona's perspective, they gave Kyler Murray a guy, his college guy he's been comfortable with forever.
That's true.
And so you're going to lose his comfort zone with Hopkins. Why not replace him to his college comfort zone of Marquise Brown that helped him win the Heisman? So,
I mean, what did they trade the pick, right?
first round pick.
They could have got a wide receiver.
He is not a first round pick.
And then
he's not.
Yeah.
He is.
Thank you.
He is horrible. Marquise
then-
Brown they're dropping balls, and a lot of Ravens. I'm gonna tell you this, man. Marquise Brown, for all intents and purposes, has not lived up to the hype, man. He's dropped the ball in crucial moments. He's small. He's fast. I mean, but he drops the fucking ball. Lamar hits him right in the hands. You know how many Ravens games I watch? And Z knows this. That's why he's smiling like that. That motherfucker's trash. You want the Ravens to have him back, don't you?
Look, here's the hilarious thing. Watching the draft when the Steelers picked Calvin Austin, the third from Memphis, they had what's his name? Mel Kiper, who's a Ravens fan, all of a sudden say, damn it, I didn't want him to end up with the Steelers. And I thought, what? And I thought he must be pretty good. And then that's what ended up happening. So as soon as Kiper said, damn it, I didn't want him to end up with the Steelers. And then there was a report from Peter King, the disappointment when the Steelers picked Calvin Austin III, one pick before the Ravens were about to pick him. It just shows the mirror image of the two franchises and what type of players they want to get, what type of front offices they have. They like the same type of hard-nosed player to fit their both teams. And so the rivalry goes all the way to the draft. They're fighting each other for draft picks.
Let's talk about this now. To move on. Was it? Jay, your Washington team took a receiver in the first round, man. How do you feel about that? I mean, I don't know a ton about the guy. I know he's solid. They decided to go
traded down to settle on him from Penn State.
I mean, how do you feel about him? Just in your opinion. I mean,
the kid has definitely had definitely grew up like eating football, right? Even seeing the picture when he's probably like 2 or 3 still holding the football and said they really couldn't separate it from it. So I mean, that's a good sign to show that he's about football. But as far as the program and draft and getting wide receivers, I'm kind of iffy about it. I do see the explosiveness. I see him being very handsy. He's not really that quick to me, but at 5'11", I expect him to be quick, but he's not really maybe quick.
Is he
but not
5'11"?
fast. Yeah, he's like 5'11". Yeah.
He's really good. I mean, he was
Yeah.
Penn State's main target, but they passed on and they traded back and passed up on all the other receivers.
That's
so-
really my initial problem.
Yeah.
That's my initial problem. So
Because they could have had any of them between Wilson, Olave, whoever they wanted.
and I'm a fan of Olave.
Yeah.
So
I
was
think
pissed
he's the
about
best
that.
receiver in the draft.
I mean, besides Williamson or what's his name? Jameson
Williams. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Besides Jameson Williams, but he's injured. So to me, I think he may have been the best. But yeah, I'm not too mad at it. You got somebody besides Scary Terry, which people don't think is too big. He's 6 foot. He's a pretty decent sized receiver. But
what the Raiders do?
So they traded back from 11 to 16. And so they gave up the other 4 receivers and took the 5th guy in Dotson.
Too.
Let's talk with them Raiders, man. What the Raiders do in the draft, man?
The only person I can say that's really
your draft pick was Adams.
Yeah.
It was 1, 2, and I can tell you out of all of them, you got the best one, baby. I'm telling you.
What was it? They were saying, I think it was the Dolphins spent the first 3 rounds watching highlights of Tyreek Hill, waiting to make their first draft pick because they traded all the
Hey, I don't blame it. Like when you do stuff like that, if you're a team like that, you're ready to win. Dolphins are ready to win. Raiders are ready to win. Yeah. Those are teams like, in the AFC, they're gonna be up. I mean, Dolphins, we got to see what Tua. Raiders got Derek Carr. I mean, and you got weapons now. Got his college brother, and Adams. So we're gonna see. I mean, now for the Bucs fans, before we move on, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I hate it, and I was in the Bucs groups. You know what I mean? Or during the draft, I didn't like it. Our first round pick was a fucking reach, man. Well, no, we traded back, and everything like that, and then we picked up Logan Paul with the first pick in the second round. Defensively, he's 6'6", he's 285. I didn't see that type of. I just don't know about this guy. And you guys are so quiet. I mean, you guys tell me your opinion about this dude. I mean, I think it was a total reach.
Yeah,
Logan
Hall,
really?
Defensive end from Houston.
Right, it's a reach, right?
Yeah,
a big reach, man.
But on the positive side, though, they don't have too many holes. I mean, to fill. I mean,
you could have took a line.
Took a putter in the 4th round. They took the country's best putter in the 4th round. So
here we go. I mean, the same fucking team that drafted Roberto Aguayo in the second fucking round. And was it? I think Greg Schiano was the head coach. The same team comes back and drafts a punter.
Yeah, Florida State guy. They saw him all the time too. You figured they would. Yeah, that.
Come on, man. Come on, man. You can't overthink. Yeah, I know we got Tom Brady. Tom Brady needs some fucking help. Draft that man a fucking offensive lineman. Draft him all offensive linemen, man, and watch us win the Super Bowl. I mean, if Tom stays upright, we win. That's all I want to happen. And you guys are kind of fucking that up. Like we take him. We draft.
They did get a large tackle from.
They did. I did.
Central Michigan.
Yeah, Luke. I like Luke. I mean, he's a very underrated guy.
Goodecki. Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah, I love him. We got a running back a little later, and everything like that. So
and then got a tight end to replace, like we were talking with Josh with OJ Howard.
But they drafted a tight end. Yeah, but that tight end, man, was it Cade? Yeah. He's solid, but he's like a blocking tight end. Yeah. That's why I say the Bucs, man. If I had to give them a draft grade, this is just on the draft alone. I gotta give you guys like a C-, man. Like, I mean, come on. Like, I hope these picks kind of pan out.
But they took 2 tight ends, a blocking one and a pass catching one.
I just don't know. Like I said, I'm just ready for the season. I mean, the draft. I wasn't really looking forward to the draft as a Bucs fan. I mean, I know our team's
luxury of having a complete team.
Yeah, I mean, our team's ready to go. I mean, I would like to see them draft a DN. I mean, Joe Tryon, brother, you got to show me something, man. You look a little too small out there. I hope you can chop, rip, bend and dip your hips and get around that corner, man.
So next event, what is it? The schedule release coming next week.
I can't wait, man.
I can't wait for
that. We're gonna have tons of primetime games, and
NFL monopolizes the whole year long. They'll have something going on to keep your attention all year long,
for sure, man.
which is
Jay,
the greatest part of their business.
Jay, before we move on to something else, man, you were actually at the draft. You were at the fight. So,
How was that?
Yeah, tell us about that, man. You sitting there, you know what I mean?
Nah,
tell us about that now.
It was a good time. It was definitely different seeing how many fans it was out there for the draft. I will say there was a lot of Giants fans. And you know, we're sitting in, of course, a lot of Raiders fans. You know, it's Las Vegas, that's our home.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely seen a lot of Giants fans, a lot of Jaguar fans. You know, a lot of Cowboy fans. It was interesting. It was fun. A lot of people hot. It was an experience. I suggest anyone that could, you know, go to the draft if they have a chance to. 100%. And, you know, they had shows in between. It was a lot going on, so I definitely enjoyed that.
Let me ask you this: what was your opinion of? I mean, in my opinion, I don't like the little shows. I mean, that's just me, though. I mean, I don't.
They were cool, I guess. You know, it wasn't a lot of time in between, so that made it not too bad. You know, so I mean, you know, it was cool. It wasn't like a long thing like when we're in basketball games and they're giving us all these halftime things or these mini shows in between, which are cool, but they last a little bit too long for me. I can absolutely say that's not with the draft. 100%.
Yeah, because they showed the Ice Cube performance on TV, which looked amazing. I mean, the crowd looked hype. It was everybody.
No, the crowd is in it. That's the one thing too. The crowd is in it.
I saw him boo my man like they always do, Goodell.
Oh yeah, he booed the shit out of him. Fuck him. That's how it was.
Who was the guy? There was a clip of Jordan Davis when after he got drafted to the Eagles, running to the Eagles fans and diving into basically a mosh pit of Eagles fans. He had a bright red suit with like
that's a big dude, man.
And then people were like, he just started moshing with all the crowd. And they were like, "Oh yeah, this is a Philly guy. He's already our guy."
Yeah.
That's a big fucking dude. Like,
that
if you see that big motherfucker stage diving at you, what you gonna do? I'm running.
He literally left the reporter who was interviewing for him. As soon as he saw the Eagles fans chanting for him, he just basically dove in the middle of all of them. He's like, "Yeah, I'm here."
Hey, what a way to celebrate,
investment, right? He would take the investment right there.
The Eagles had a hell of a draft too, man. Eagles gonna be a fucking problem. Jalen Hurts, man. What you gonna do, brother? The show is yours now, man. The show is yours.
That trade is gonna hurt Ryan Tannehill, basically. Woo.
Man. Yeah, Eagles gonna be a problem. Like I said, overall the draft was great. It was fun. It was exciting, like it always is, man. As you guys heard, you know, we're gonna probably move on to basketball. As you guys heard, man, when I started off the show, Charge It to the Game Sports and Sports Betting Podcast, man. Sponsored by BetUS, man. Thank you guys so much for, you know, tuning in to the show and listening in. You guys are probably listening out there. Even our fans and supporters and subscribers, man. This means a lot to us. You know, thank you for continuing to share, support, and, you know, just talk about the show, man. You guys kind of made this happen. You guys have not heard us say sponsored or affiliated with or powered by anything. You know what I mean? So, you know, we're definitely being recognized. The word's definitely getting around. And it's thanks to you guys, man. I see a lot of you guys share the show. Shout out to our guy.
Thanks for the likes, the shares, the everything. We appreciate everybody.
Couldn't do it without y'all.
Yeah,
for sure.
All our guests over the past year. I mean, it's been an amazing ride and we're continuing to grow, continuing to build. And so thank you to everybody.
Yeah, thank you to everybody, man. Was it Jerry K? I forgot. I can't remember the last name, man. Jerry, you know what I'm talking about, man. You in the Charge It to the Game Facebook group, brother. I always see you share the show in the groups on your page, personal Facebook page. That's what it's about, man. If you're watching the show, man, hit me up, DM me, and I got a little something for you, man. I'm not saying, you know, anybody else he's better than anybody else, but like I said, I just see him share the show all the time. Okay, I'm a sports bettor. You know what I mean? So put two and two together, man. I got a little something for you, aka a dollar sign, a little money for you, man. So I might cash app it to you. So, you know, hit me up after the show and I'll put it on the comment channel for you, man. I'll probably hit you up in the Facebook group. But yeah, man. So BetUS, man. We got a partnership with them. They're running a exclusive offer using promo code to the game. Promo code to the game. If you don't have a BetUS account, get one. All right. So all the guys that I know, all the guys that are in my circle, they're switching over. So the sports books that have been a part of, and in the past and things like that, bye, because BetUS, here you come. You know what I mean? So we all making a move, man. So this is, like I said, if you want to support the show, if you notice, we don't say, hey, if you want to support the show, we don't put cash apps at the bottom of the fucking show. We're not here trying to take your fucking money. But yeah, all I'm saying is, if you're a sports bettor, support the show by joining BetUS, man. How you guys feel about this, man?
Yeah, promo code to the game. They offer a wide range of sports. I mean, you can bet on the regular sports we always talk about: basketball, football, baseball, hockey. You can also bet on Korean and Japanese baseball. I saw those offerings on BetUS. Soccer across the world, leagues all over. Just the opportunities, boxing, MMA. They offer every sport you can think of in regards to betting. And again, just use that promo code to the game, and you'll be able to get 125% bonus on your initial deposit. So to the game at BetUS, and thank you so much for your support over the past year.
Thank you. Yeah, man. I mean, Jay, how you feeling about it, man?
I'm about to say, you all said it. All them other guys that bet with me, you always ask, hey, how you betting? How you place your bets? We got it right here. And you're getting 125% as far as your first deposit, right? So I'm telling you, I've been across a lot of platforms, but 125% match the offer, never have had that. 50, 25%. So I'm telling you, even if you even bet once, which I know you're going to be back. I know you're going to be back. You take one time to win, your ass will be back. So I'm just saying that this is a good time to, shoot your shot.
Yeah,
try
man. Exclusive lines, man. Exclusive lines, competitive lines, quick payouts, fast payouts. Cash out multiple times, not like the little small books. Cash out a few times a week, things like that. Sit from the comfort of your own home and put the fucking bets in, and let's get it, man.
That's it.
But yeah, man, it feels pretty good. But yeah, man, before we move on to the NBA segment, man, if you're in the Charge to the Game Facebook group, you saw it, man. The guy's coming on the show Thursday, okay? And that guy, I'm talking about Hugh Jackson, man, former Browns head coach, now head coach at Grambling State, because a lot of my guys, they're like, yo, he's really coming on the show Thursday? I'm like, yeah, he wants to come on the show. I want him to come on the show. I want to talk about Grambling State. I want to talk about the HBCU landscape. I want to talk about what is the movement of what are these guys trying to do? What is Eddie George trying to do? What is Deion Sanders trying to do? What is he trying to do? These guys are part of the movement of what they're trying to do with college football. They want our players to go back home. Go back home, meaning to HBCUs, man. Instead of the Notre Dames, the Michigans, the Floridas, all the SEC schools. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, quick, fast, and in a hurry and overnight. But this is big, man. This is big, man. If you're a young athlete, you can now get coached by NFL players, former NFL players, NFL head coaches. They know these guys. They know the head coaches. Hey, this guy's ready for the NFL. This guy, you know what I mean? Now it doesn't matter where you play, man. You go out there, you ball, and let's go get it.
And then just look at the recent draft. Jackson State had a couple players drafted. I mean, it's amazing. The growth over 1 year over year, to having nobody drafted last year. I believe there were four HBCU players drafted this year from zero last year. So that's
a huge step in the right direction, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand where people look at HBCU football, man. They kind of look at it as a joke and like just a cupcake.
Numerous more signing on as undrafted free agents too, so they have the opportunity to go to camp and make a team. I mean, that's opportunity is everything.
Right, and like you said, Z, I mean, after the draft, those guys got picked up like nothing. I looked at just the statistic thing, I think like over 30 or 40 players from HBCUs went to camps and are gonna be, undrafted, free agents. But that's cool, man. All these guys want and need is a shot, man. So, best of luck to those guys. And like I said, on the Hugh Jackson tip, man, I cannot wait for that, man, because I want to know, what they're trying to do there. And then obviously, as a former, head coach of the Cleveland Browns, this is the guy who drafted Baker Mayfield. Yeah. He was in the draft when they wanted to get my guy. You guys know how I feel about Baker, man. I cannot stand the dude. I'm gonna ask him, was that your call or was that the team's call? Because I don't see it. I don't see it. I get his record, that team, all of that. I don't see it. And then obviously, I'm obviously the elephant in the room is kind of, did the Browns really, try to just tank, purposely lose games? I just want to know. I mean, there's been kind of news circulating around that and everything. And we're going to get to the bottom of it and obviously just talk and have fun with the guy, man, because, I want to hear his side of the story. Like I said, and that's one of the reasons why we started this podcast is we don't talk mainstream media talk. That shit is fake and phony. And that's why you'll never see some of them, those guys on this podcast, man, because I don't respect them. All the people, every last one of the people, that come on this podcast are well respected, about each and every one of us. All of us got to kind of sign off on it, man. There's been numerous guests, actually not numerous guests, but there's been guests we probably crossed paths, like, hey, you want this guy on the show? Like, no. Or that guy that gives bad takes, stuff like that. But we're looking forward to having him on. Anything else, fellas, before we move on to NBA?
Nah. Yes. NBA is hot. Playoff time is second round.
Yeah, man. I mean, so what tonight? I actually just put my bet in, man. I took Memphis tonight. That's why if you guys noticed earlier when I put the little black screen, you know what I mean? When I put the little stop cam like that, I literally went to the wall, grabbed my phone, that was charger, and said, "Let me put my money on Memphis tonight." Because yeah, but I mean, as far as some of these games, man, second round, these matchups are pretty fun, man.
Oh yeah. And they always say, the zigzag theory over the last 12 years, team that wins game one will get blown out in game two. And when you start looking at some of these series, I mean, it's human nature. It just
and both home teams lost. Both home teams lost on the Eastern Conference side, man. I mean, with the Boston.
Miami destroyed Philly. Philly's in trouble. I mean, no matter what the number is, take Miami and lay the points. That was minus 7.5, and what did they win by? 30?
Tyler, the microwave hero. That motherfucker was splashing on him straight. I mean,
I'm like, did y'all see the Tyrese Maxey thing?
Wow.
So yeah, Tyrese Maxey went to go sit at the bench and went to James Harden went to go sit beside him. Tyrese Maxey got off and just throwing one of them hand signs like, get on my face, and walked away. Yes.
Now here's the question for the two of you. So would you give James Harden a $250 million contract this offseason?
Fuck.
Basketball players.
And the talk is that the GM, his buddy, promised him that deal before they made the trade. And so he's going to get extended the full max $250 million after this performance. I mean,
he's little fat ass.
He's aged in dog years. I mean, he just looks like that dude went from age 30 to age 45.
Yo, he is fucking
very quick,
bro. It's his diet. It's the rule changes. I mean, a lot of people. I think Jimmy Butler even said with the rule changes, he came out and said, "What is James Harden without those foul calls or the free?" Remember, he said something like that.
They were switching Bam Adebayo on him, and Adebayo was keeping him. I know. I was like, "What is this?"
Right. He was shuffling his feet, sliding, and all of that, staying in front of him. And like I said, with these new rule changes, we seeing who the real dogs are, man. Look, these refs are not calling that shit, like they do in the regular season.
Game 2 is -8. Game 1 was 7.5. Game 2 they only raised it 1.8.5. Miami minus 8.5.
Beat their ass.
Yeah, man.
That's the one series where the zigzag doesn't work. Because until Embiid comes back, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I think Philly. If you're a Philly fan, man, I mean, because the boys already know.
Jordan. They have DeAndre Jordan playing so much. I'm like, why is this dude playing 20 minutes?
Out of position, each and every play, can't shoot. Just the lob. All you can do is lob to him. You can't do nothing with the fucking ball. Was back to the basket.
Here's my thing. As soon as he came in the game, I was trying to get to the app to place my bet in against him. I mean, that old ass is coming in the game. I don't care if it's minus 13. I'm like, let's take Miami. That's as long as he keeps playing. And they never took him out. They left him in. Nope. And then Doc Rivers at the press conference.
He got baked.
Double down on it, too.
Double down. Said, yep, we trust DeAndre. He's a mainstay for us. Expect him to play more minutes.
And Doc Rivers. And a lot of people was mad at me after that show on court. Doc Rivers, that's why you're in the position you're in, man. I'm telling you, I respect my black coaches, basketball, NBA. I don't care, man. Doc Rivers, brother, you got all these teams. You got one fucking ring, man. You had all these players. You had Tracy McGrady. You had the Clippers. Bro. You had Chris Paul, man.
Having Embiid in the game up by 20 with 3 minutes left against Toronto, and that's when he got hurt.
Stupid. And I want to go see the fucking game. I want to drive up to Philly. Why didn't fucking go drive up to Philly and see him get smoked? Yeah. And B's probably not even going to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're saying maybe game 4. There might be a chance.
Oh, that's going to be too late.
It's going to be too late? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, 3-0?
Barbecue chicken. Yeah, this is it. Barbecue chicken.
Yeah, so get in on it early. It's only game 2 is only 8.5. So,
what is the other game? The Bucks are losing right now, but game 1 they came out, man. Jason Tatum. A lot of people don't like what I've said about Jason Tatum, especially my boys. Because a lot of people feel a certain way about Jason Tatum, and it's one of my dudes. You already know what I'm talking about too. One of my dudes already know what I'm talking about. Because it's just game 1. It's just game 1. Man, that motherfucker ain't that nice. That motherfucker is flimsy. He got no bounce. Giannis fucking knocked his little clumsy half-cooked ass to the fucking floor and banged on him. I mean, Boston's winning tonight. You know, no doubt. You're at home.
Addition by subtraction. No Marcus Smart turnovers.
Yeah,
he had 13 turnovers in that game.
What's the score now? And the thing is, they coming back. The Bucks 77-92. I'm not saying the Bucks are gonna come back and win, but I mean, he should be really smashing, the Bucks right now.
But it's the Bucks trend. Come out strong game 1.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Bulls. They lost at home game 2 against the Bulls, and then game 3 and 4 they went crazy.
They gotta let them have it, man.
Yeah.
What is Chris Middleton?
Actually, Jason Tatum is actually the one. I mean, not Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown is actually the one going crazy. 28 points. Yeah. Jason Tatum doing this thing too, but Brown is going crazy. 28, 4, 5, 2 steals, 1 block. Good God.
Yeah, he's letting him have it tonight. Because game 1, I'm telling you, my man looked like he was lost. He was just passing the ball to the other team, falling and flopping all over the fucking place.
I mean, and that's the thing, though, too. Necessarily, while Giannis didn't really shoot that well, which I thought he did looking at the game, but he was doing everything else. Yeah, he shot horrible. But you're gonna need. I'm saying I'm a Bucks fan, but I'm definitely a Pistons fan.
You might be.
But no, I mean it's Giannis is not looking so hot still this game. I think they're going in the same direction. We're gonna let him score, but we'll stop everyone else. And we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Boston, they should really be, smashing them right now. I mean, the game's still in pocket. I mean, they can make the score closer. I'm not saying they're gonna come back to win, but yeah, I mean, in this series, man, I mean, with Chris Middleton out, you should have capitalized on game 1. I mean, when Chris Middleton comes back, then what you gonna do? Then what are you gonna do, man? I mean, that's just my biggest thing.
That's the objective is, flip the home court. So by the Bucks winning game 1, they got home court.
Yeah, because when the Bucks go back home, man, it's gonna take a lot to beat Giannis in Milwaukee. Yeah. All right, because they was fouling the fuck out of my man. Game 1, they wasn't calling shit. Tonight they weren't calling shit. In Boston, My man gets fucking fouled like a motherfucker. No foul calls. What do you think is gonna happen when he goes back home? You know what I mean? What do you think is gonna happen?
Yeah.
You might give him a fucking 50-piece. What's that little clip when he won the championship? And he said, "Give me a 50-piece chicken McMinute."
That was hilarious. Not 51. 50.
That shit was funny. Not 50. What did he say?
Yeah, he's like, not 51, not 52. 50. Exactly 50. Oh, man.
That shit is funny. Love the dude, man. But let's talk about this Phoenix series. Phoenix and man, Luka the fucking beast, man. Motherfucking Luka killing these boys. But at the same time,
craziest game. All those the Mavs +6 betters.
Yeah.
Just the most depressing Spencer Dinwiddie wide open three. And then the worst thing was, so they're down 30. They come all the way back. They were down 5.
Handed to.
Down 5 with 4 seconds left, and they fouled. Let the damn 4 seconds run out and end the game. They foul. Booker makes the 2 free throws.
And then
and so they're down 7. Luka makes the perfect drive, kick to Dinwiddie, nobody around him, but wide open 3.
Bomb.
Clank. And so all the the lucky backdoor was going to come in for all the +6 bettors. No chance.
I'll say this. This is exactly the reason why I tease. I'm the tease king, dog. I'll find another game to tease that motherfucker with. You tease the hell out of that with another game. That's why I wasn't worried about it.
Or in-game, because in-game I took +11, +17, +19, and they ended up losing by 7. Because you know the Mavs can shoot, and you know the Mavs are going to come back, and you know the Suns have a propensity to just relax in the fourth quarter. Now, the bet that's cashed every single game, Suns first half, cashed again. That is a beautiful bet to just keep riding. Suns first half.
Too, so
just take it. Suns first half, especially at home. That's a good bet to go. Or Luka props. Luka over. They can't stop Luka.
They can't stop Luka. You can't stop the rain.
Yeah, what? 40
at all.
Not at all.
Man, he putting it on him, man. I mean, he's gonna need somebody to step up with him, man. He's
Was
it Brunson? He gotta come
Brunson.
on, man.
Brunson was terrible. Dinwiddie was terrible. But the key, what I learned from that series versus the Utah series, the Mavs, their defense, they're good at defense on basically going against the 3. But the mid-range, they're not. And so what happened in the Suns are mid-range kings between Booker and Paul. And so they exploited the Mavs' weaknesses, the mid-range game, and that's going to be key for the rest of the series. So pay attention to that as you bet.
It's a fun series, though. I just like Luka getting them down the floor. This man puts on a fucking show every game.
And they never give up. They will always fight. They never give up.
Right. And
shout out to Daryl Armstrong.
Yeah, shout out to Coach, man. Good luck to you guys, man. You guys in for a tough one, man. I mean, give the ball to Luka some more, man. Yeah. But anyway, I mean, what's the next series on? We talked about the Bucks, Boston,
Golden State, and Memphis.
Yeah, Golden State and Memphis, man. Let's talk about it, fellas. So they actually play right now. I got money on Memphis tonight. I barely won the Warriors game 1. Took them money line. Fuck them points. Man.
Depressing. My dumbass had the -2. They lost by 1. Talk about a heartbreaking loss.
Man. Some of the shit, I'm telling you, some of the shit just seems like it's rigged. It's just too good to be true, man. We gotta bring the guy. What's the old official, NBA official that went to fucking jail?
Tim Donahue.
Tim Donahue, man. If you're listening, brother, I'm gonna have to find you, man. I want you on here, man. I want to know, man. You already served your time. You did your time. You know, I mean, salute you for that. I need to know what's really going on. Okay.
That was a brutal ending. 90% shooter misses 2 free throws. The Mavs, Warriors should get the ball out of bounds. The referee says, "I didn't see the play. Let's do a jump ball." What do you mean you didn't see it? The whole
refs, I'm telling you. These refs, man. These refs, and then they threw Draymond Green. They threw him the fuck out of there. A soft
Oh
ass.
my gosh, yeah. Did you
Man,
see
really-
the Draymond Green podcast? He recorded right afterwards.
No, what do you say?
He basically said that I don't think it was a flagrant, because
What?
even when he tried to grab, he definitely tried to stop him, but he also was holding on his jersey, making sure that he didn't fall or didn't make a hard fall. So he said he didn't really feel like it was a flagrant. He said actually when he went to the table, the refs said something about the flagrant and took a long ass time because he said they also knew they didn't really want to call it.
Yeah,
It sounds fishy to me.
They were judging him off image, like
That's what he
past.
said. They have an image, and
But
I
then,
believe
look,
it.
watch Game 2. Scott Foster's a ref. He is the king of making things 1-1 to ensure that it's a long series for TV and for the NBA. So who did they fly in? They flew in Scott Foster
Little fucking bald ass.
to ref Game 2. So I'm thinking Memphis tonight. Scott Foster. This is a Scott Foster special. And here we go. Memphis gonna pull it out.
That's Scott Foster special. I don't know what it is, but the special.
He's done it. The only game where he tried and failed was Boston in Brooklyn, where he found out Jason Tatum, but KD couldn't pull out the victory. I'm like, Scott Foster tried as hard as he could.
Yeah, you can't win the game for you all the time. You know what I mean?
They overcame Foster and they won that game. Yeah.
Old fucking Scott Foster, man. But from an NBA perspective, man, I mean the playoffs are here, man.
It's getting tougher. So everybody pay attention. The further we get along in the playoffs, the tougher it's going to be to cap. Tougher it's going to be to bet because there's fewer games. So the books numbers are. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it. Last night it was +6 and they won by 7. The Warriors versus Memphis game was +2 and they won by 1. I mean, these numbers are finite to the number. The books are. Their numbers are very sharp, so just pay attention. Don't go too heavy because these numbers. I mean,
if you are gonna go heavy on the Bet US
on the money line. Take money. Well, definitely go Bet US.
I'm just fucking with you.
Go Bet US. You can risk that bread now, brother. You got more. You got credit. Make it happen.
If it's a short spread advice, just take the money line. Don't lay the 2 points or lay -1. Yeah, take it from me. Learned the hard way. Laid -2.
But you want enough, Brady.
Well,
this is coming from a guy. I gotta stop you here, man. This motherfucker thinks he can win every fucking night. This man pulling out fucking $1,000 days and a few $100 days. So don't listen to nothing Big Z says. All right, this motherfucker. Some of y'all don't know Z. I know Z. This man tries to win every fucking thing. All right,
tell him Z. You don't even know W's on the table.
My motto is you win or you learn, and so that's one thing I learned. I laid -2. I did take the money line, but I bet smaller on the money line, bet bigger on the -2. Took the L with them winning by 1 point. Won a little bit on the money line. After I recommended everybody take the money line, my greedy behind did both.
That's what happens, man.
Double dipping.
I'm telling you.
Double dipping. Watch yourself. Too much dip on the chip, baby.
I'll never do that again, though. If I ever see -1, -2, I'm just taking a money line. Or I say that now. I make it greedy and bet
play it safe, man. I'm telling you. And that's what burnt me up. I'm telling you, when I used to sports bet, okay, they cover this. Motherfuckers be winning by 30, 40 points and come back and still can't cover. Can't cover shit. I be like, man,
crazy.
Ever since then.
Especially the NBA, the BS, the last minute of the game, it is. And now they don't look at replays the last minute of the game, so the ref can make a mistake and they won't overturn the call.
Yeah, man. Let's close out the show, fellas. Let's close out with the bets, man.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Bet US, man. Promo code to the game. Fellas, man, what do we got for the people as far as for bets? I guess I'll start off real quick. For me, man, going into tomorrow night, which is Wednesday night, I'm looking at the Heat, man. What I'm doing is I'm teasing the Heat. I'm teasing that with 8.5 or 9 down, and then I'm gonna tease that with the Mavs, man. Well, actually, no, I'm gonna tease it with the Suns. I'm teasing it with the Suns. I'm gonna tease that 6 down, maybe get -2.5, something like that, -3. And let's go, man. I mean, it don't get no easier than that, in my opinion. I mean, the Heat are probably you can even if you just in love with like them fucking spreads and shit like that, take the fucking +8.5 -9. I mean, the Heat are gonna run away with this, man. I mean, they're at home.
Huge
They
public play, and the public is eating. It was like 90.
God.
Wow.
That's the fucking game right there. Like you can't. It don't get no better than that. I mean, like I said, for me though, I don't like major big high -8, -9 spreads. I'm teasing that down. I'm getting like -5, -6, something that's very affordable. I'm gonna put my bread on it and go sit my ass down, man. That's what I'm gonna do. And then, like I said, then watch out for the switches. You know, when the series go back and forth, like what Milwaukee lost tonight. Milwaukee's gonna go back home. I don't know when Chris Middleton's coming back, but when I don't care. When the Bucks go home, they win. Giannis is gonna get the first half, full game, all of that, man.
Yeah.
That's just in my opinion. But yeah, those are my bets, man. So what are you guys feeling?
I got for now. Y'all go to that. I got over baseball, especially fade the Orioles.
Yeah.
Also bet over. Surprisingly, the Orioles always put up a decent amount of points the past few games. They have lost me money with the under because I know they fucking suck, but they can't win. They can't stop shit. But apparently they've been putting up points. Even right now, they're going against the Minnesota Twins, and there's 5-2. I don't have to put up too much because the other team usually smokes them. That's been my money bet so far. And also like a lot of overs in general for baseball. It's happening. It's been pretty crazy. So I would look for the overs. Believe the teams are what they are right now. If they suck, they fucking suck, and go with that.
Yes, certain teams, because it's just baseball. I mean, for me, I'm going to keep it simple. Like I said before, Bucks at home first half. Yep. I've been riding that all playoffs. Only lost once to the one game the Bulls won. They've won every first half at home, every single game. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the other one is Suns first half. They've won every single first half at home. They pushed one where it was 5 and it ended up at 5. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Suns first half at home. Bucks first half at home. Again, Miami, I'm not a believer in James Harden, so I'm riding with Miami. You could say 6.5, 7.5, 8.5. Miami's winning by 10. They're winning by at least 10 every game. So, but for the show, my best bets in the NBA playoffs, Bucks go home, take Bucks first half. Suns at home, Suns first half. And let's take it to the bank.
Here we go, man. Like I said, you can bet that on the sports app and any other sports app, man. So, but anyway, man, as far as from a basketball perspective, WNBA starting back up. And so shout out to all the WNBA players. Shout out to Ice Young, color commentator for the Connecticut Sun. So now I can get my money on the WNBA side. That WNBA money different because I took a gamble on it. Last year was my first season trying WNBA sports betting. Yeah. There's a lot of money. There's large spreads. Yeah, 15, 16 points. These girls be blowing these motherfuckers. They be blowing them out. -20. Take it. I mean, I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's like a college football spread, but they actually cover. The good teams cover in the NBA. I'm sorry, the WNBA. It's incredible, man. So I'm looking forward to that. I won a lot of money on WNBA basketball last season. But yeah, that closes up the show, man. Like I said, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, man. Leave some comments down there in the comment section. Thank you to our audience. You're always great. Thanks for listening. And tune in to get us live this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's what the time I think you said to confirm. Hugh Jackson, current head coach of the Grambling State. I think the
legendary Grambling State Tigers.
Yeah, man. So I mean,
the home of Eddie Robinson. The Coach of the Year award is named after Eddie Robinson.
So there you go, Big Z. I mean, tune in. Let's talk and chat with him. Let's have a good time, man. And then 49ers fans, I got a special guest for you guys, man. That's next week. And I'm probably going to announce him on next week's show. But yeah, man, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next show. Take it easy.